Today I'm going to brief you about Google Sheet. This is for beginners. So uh, basically, this is same as Excel, but there are some differences. The differences are mainly the cloud capabilities, and the other thing is you have a vast range of formulas which are not existing in Excel. So in that case, it helps. So here I've already typed the formula, so I'm just delete it. We will come from the first. Okay. So, for example, when I link a sheet tab in Excel, so this is how I link a sheet from one tab to another. So this is same in Excel as well as in Google Sheet. But when you want to connect to another Google Sheet, another spreadsheet, you cannot just give the name of the say ABC and the sheet name and the cell reference like this. You cannot give like in Excel you can link some workbook to workbook, but that is not possible in Google Sheet. Instead you have to use a formula called import range. So how will you import range? Import range is basically linking between two spreadsheets in Google Sheet. So you need an URL within quotes and sheet tab and cell reference within quotes. This is how you will have the import range. Now why there is an error? I have not given the URL as well as I have not given the sheet reference. So here I am having the URL, that is the next sheet which I have. So I'm just copying this, pasting it here. Note the URL will have GID. That does not needed here. It is not needed here to be included. So in this case, I'm taking the range sheet 1 to, if you see sheet 1, A to E I have. I'm taking the range from A to H. So I'm just giving the sheet A to H. So this will be loading here. Sometimes you will get an error. In that case, normally the error is first time when you use import range, you will get the error as allow access. In that case, you have to click the allow access to for the population of the data. So it is a one-time process mostly. Whenever it is asked, there will be a ref error. In that case, just click it and you will see the pop-up message. And if it asks allow access, you will be allowing the access for the source file. Provided you should be having the edit access to the source file. So this as the data has been populated from that sheet fully, but I do not need the full data. I want the data from a particular criteria. Let's say I need only from Monday. I need only the data or which has Monday as the weekday. So in this case, I'm going to use the filter. So I'm just copying the index and the criteria alone to save the time. I'm using filter function in this import range itself and comma. So filter function is range. Range is the import range and condition. Condition is index that this import range where the A to H range from the source sheet equals to Saturday. This 2 is the column reference. So first column is date, second column is weekday. So column 2 equals Saturday. Now if there are errors, so for always to avoid error, I use if error. So if error, okay. So and always the date can be changed to number format in In that case, just simply change it to date format. So filter is nothing but I'm just using the filter here. Let's say this data I'm taking A1 to C7 and C1 to C7 equal to Saturday, while it can be Monday too. So if you see, this has filtered the data, filter Monday. Okay, so to avoid confusion, I will filter Friday. So it should have basics of scripting. So this is how the filter works. You can have multiple conditions. So you can have multiple conditions, and here also you can I have given the weekday. You can give the action item also. In this case, I'm just changing the column 4, and even you can. So now it is greater than 11, so all the activities from 12 I'm filtering. So this is what filter and import range. So now we will come to flatten. Flatten is nothing but it is kind of same as transpose. For example, okay, flatten A to C. So the row items will, the column items will be converted into row items, the same as transpose. But one thing is, okay, let me come to this in a while. Okay, first what I want to tell you with respect to the flatten, I will go about that. So now, if for example, I think this is getting crowded, so I'm just deleting things. Okay, so now let's see, these are the headers. I will bold it too. So I have three items, three quantities. Let's say I have date 1 11 02 something. So now I want to flatten this. Let's see how it goes. So if I click here, everything will come to row. That I don't want it to be like that. So what I will give is, I'm just shifting this date here. So what I will do is flatten for all the items. I have three items. In the same way, I have three quantities. So I will not have any issue. I'm copying this, but I need quantity. So it should be 3. So for date 1 2 3. So this is how even you can have it here. So this is how you can have the flatten thing works if, for example, BCD. So now if I will give 10, 10, 10. So if you see, so this is how it will get transposed. The same thing if we do the transpose. I'm sorry. How I'm getting, you can see. Let's say, okay, this comes in this range. So let's go down somewhere. Right. So like this, you cannot have an entry type like this. This white, for example, previously I forgot to tell you why this got an referrer. Okay, we are transposing 3 to 10. So when you are transposing, let's say what, how many rows we are transposing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 rows you are transposing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 rows, 9 columns you should leave it. So if you have the data here, it will perfectly work. But you are leaving a space of blank space of around 7 columns, 6 to 7 columns blank. So in this case, this doesn't work properly. So this does not give the data which how I want in a supposedly in a report format. So this is perfectly possible in flatten. So this is a case of you have multiple items, multiple quantities, and a particular date. So in that case, for particular date, you need to know what is the this show. This is a kind of a pivot, which is possible in flatten. That is the difference between transpose and flatten. So let's see, flatten also we have completed. I'm just marking. So consolidation range. This tab is kind of um, clumsy, so I will use this tab. No, this tab would be fine. Okay. So this can also be. So I want to consolidate ranges. So what I'm doing is I'm using an array formula and a semicolon array formula. This is what the syntax is. So I'm consolidating this range the same way this range. Let's see what happens. Okay, sorry, the bracket should not be there. So the curly brackets I have removed it. So that was the issue. So now I will give a V3 F3. So you can see how it consolidates the range. So first, for easy purpose, I am just giving A to B3. So A to B3, it just consolidates the same thing. How it is A to B3, it just copies here. But now I want the range from E to F3 too. So this also I need. So if you see how it shows Sunday, Monday, and orange apple. So this as an instead of column, if for example, if I take copy and paste it here, copy, paste it here, it will be still be a column to column data, but here I'm just consolidating row wise. This can be useful in scenarios like if you use a pivot table. For example, you have multiple pivot table. You want to consolidate all the pivot table into rows because you have multiple pivot tables. You want the data to be after the scenario I would tell you is this above one. So let's delete this for understanding purpose. So here if you see the same item which we saw in the last example, we have here item 1 and 2, quantity 1 and 2. So now I have already written here, but I will explain it again. So I'm just having this item. I'm using the date. I need the weekday. I'm just interchanging it. So this is what the data for item 1, quantity 1. So now I want to consolidate the item 2 and quantity 2 also here. So in this case, I'm just consolidating. So this can be easily done by a script. This data is same for both. This can be easily done by a script. This cannot be done by a flatten because it won't give you a correct result when you use flatten. So if you use flatten, for different ranges, this won't work out. So because this already is in row wise, this is not. So if I give this is not in a consecutive column, so item after item there is a quantity, so this won't work out. For flatten, one thing I forgot to mention, it should be consecutive. Column should be consecutive to be effective. Like this, if you see item should be nearby, quantity should be nearby. For example, if item quantity, then it won't work for this kind of a setup because item quantity is ABC to it would change the order. So this kind of a report can be possible in consolidating the range. But how this can be done is, I'm just showing you an example. Now what I am doing is, I am just going to use this for a pivot. I am going to insert a pivot. Existing sheet is okay. New sheet is also okay. I created a new sheet. So I'm sorry. I want item 1, date. I don't want total for anyone. Name, let's say name. Let's say weekday. And quantity will be the value. So this is all the setup. So now I am copying this and pasting it here. Here instead of item 1 and quantity 1, I am going to use item 2 and quantity 2. So this is how the pivot is. Now I want to consolidate ranges so that these two pivot come in the same order like this. So let's see. First range is I want till L. So I have deleted this. Here I have kept. So this is how the flatten works. So both the date are consolidated, both the Sunday, Monday, Orange Apple. If you see, compare this data. So you can see orange, the columns are interchanged. So this is the end result. So this is very useful in case of consolidating pivot or consolidating from different sheet tabs into a range